This is Fox 2 News at noon. News that works for you.
Today is the day we honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If you have the day off, there are a number of events for you to get involved in around Metro Detroit for this holiday. Fox 2's Al Allen is at Pelham Middle School in Detroit now with a live report on the activities there. Al?
Well, Sherry, you're just hearing the Pelham Middle School band marching here. This is the 8th annual march for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One of a number of activities, as you mentioned, throughout Metro Detroit, honoring the late civil rights leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner. Here at the Museum of African American History, there's a list of day-long activities honoring Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. From movies to debates to a sing-along concerning South African songs.
I think the parents are really the most excited to share this with their children. And it really fits with our mission because we're preserving the past for the future. So, you know, the parents bringing their children down to learn more about Martin Luther King definitely fits in line with that.
Here at West Bloomfield High School in West Bloomfield, students honor the birthday of Dr. King with a rally and march, which has become an annual event at the West Bloomfield School. As we mentioned before, the Pelham Middle School band is parading here, and there's a march and a rally that will take place at New Starlight Baptist Church, and another one at New Westside Central Baptist Church as well. Like I said, a lot of activities today throughout Metro Detroit honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Sherry, back to you.
All right, Al, thank you very much. There is no mail delivery today, and most post offices will be closed because of the Martin Luther King holiday. One exception is the 24-hour post office on 4th Street in downtown Detroit. Federal, state, and most local government offices are closed, and Wall Street has the day off, along with many banks.
This is the News Beat at noon.
Dr. Martin Luther King's life and legacy is being celebrated today. Most of Metro Detroit, and indeed the rest of the country, has this day off in his memory. Right now, hundreds are gathered in Southfield for a march, and the Newsbeat's Suzanne Wangler is there live to show us what's going on. Suzanne?
Well, hi there, Ruth. Southfield is just one of 10 communities across Metro Detroit honoring the slain civil rights leader. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday is a day of celebration, but it's also a day of reflection for people from all walks of life. The day of celebration started early in Metro Detroit. The American Jewish Committee and the Detroit Urban League honored the slain civil rights leader with their 4th annual All People's Breakfast. The program's focus, big businesses' responsibility in fighting racism. In West Bloomfield Township, hundreds of students and community leaders from all walks of life came together for a special celebration called United We Walk.
We must keep doing it. We can't be satisfied that we've done enough. We must keep marching and keep the dream alive.
I was born and reared in the South, and I had a great connection with Dr. King, and I too have a dream, and of course some of my dreams have become a reality, and the thing that Dr. King stood for, and to see the diverse and the type of people that we have here today is just fantastic.
I'm very pleased and very proud of the people that turned out for this event, especially the mix of people. That really makes me feel good.
For many, the day of celebration served as a day to remember the achievements of Martin Luther King Jr. Many say this day gives them a chance to move forward in their lives by taking a step to look back at how the people of this country have come together, what it took to get here, and what we need to do to live up to the standards that Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed for everyone. Back here live in Southfield, first the march, now they're meeting here for a special program. There are activities planned throughout the day all across Metro Detroit, from Focus Hope this afternoon to the Museum of African American History. They're going to have displays all day long. Of course, Newsbeat crews will be covering these events, and we'll have the very latest for you coming up live on the Newsbeat at 5 and 6. Reporting live in Southfield, Suzanne Wangler, Newsbeat.
From WXYZ, where 7 stands for news, this is Channel 7 Action News Midday.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
From around the metro area, people from all walks of life are coming together today. They want Americans to know that Dr. King's dream is still alive. Today is Martin Luther King Day, the national holiday devoted to brotherhood and justice. And this holiday started early for many people in our area with unity walks. Channel 7's Mike Huckman joins us live with more on how people are taking time to honor the memory of Dr. King. Mike?
But you know, Robbie, for many, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is just another day off from school or work. But for the hundreds who are gathered here in this auditorium and in auditoriums throughout the metro area this afternoon, this is a day on, not a day off, a day to remember, celebrate, and act, which is the theme of this year's program here at the Southfield Civic Center. In the tradition of civil rights marches of the 60s, thousands of Metro Detroiters are taking to the streets to commemorate Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. From Detroit to Southfield to Westland to West Bloomfield, people black, white, Gentile, Jewish, rich, and poor are making strides towards King's dream of racial equality.
Such a wonderful thing just to see a whole rainbow of people everywhere, just united together. You put all your problems and your differences aside for one day, just come together as a people, as a human race.
I think it's great to show the kids. I'm a teacher at Scotch and Grutchko. I think it's great to show the kids how important it is that we share freedom.
I think we still have a way to go. And I think if we keep working together, having unified marches and discussions, I think long-term, sure, we'll see some benefit.
And people aren't the only ones on the move on this King Day. In Walled Lake, the Foster farmhouse was a safe haven for slaves on their journey to freedom on the Underground Railroad. Historic preservationists raised thousands of dollars and recruited volunteers to save the building from the wrecking ball and move it here to a new home in Riley Park, where excavation work began this morning.
When they took the house up off its foundation, we could see the evidence by looking up at the house of stairways that were kind of secretive and everything. And of course, there have been the oral histories that have been handed down through the family. Not a lot of written documentation because it was a highly illegal activity, and so people weren't that anxious to let their friends and neighbors know what they were doing.
Just an amazing rendition of the Impossible Dream that is being sung here now at the Southfield Civic Center. You know, Southfield, which is one of the most racially and culturally diverse cities in Michigan, was actually also one of the first cities, or actually the first city in the state, to actually sponsor a Martin Luther King Day walk or march. But as one of the speakers here so eloquently said just a short time ago, the challenge now is to move this day beyond all the walks and marches and speeches and songs, and to get people to begin to take action, for example, through volunteering, to try to help make Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream finally come true. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. And Martin Luther King Day first became a federal holiday in 1986. For the first time since the holiday was established, U.S. financial markets are closed for the day today. And as the nation honors Dr. King, Vice President Gore is using the occasion to announce new efforts to improve race relations. Gore will propose a 17% increase in funds for enforcing civil rights laws. He wants the money used to help investigate police brutality complaints, strengthen enforcement of fair housing laws, and expand enforcement of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And just a reminder, there are several closings because of the King holiday. Detroit city offices are closed along with the stock market and federal offices and courts. County courts in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties will be closed.
This is the UPN 50 10 o'clock news. Straight to the point.
Elsewhere around the country and right here in Metro Detroit, Dr. Martin Luther King's dream was remembered, and it was remembered peacefully. As UPN 50's Woody Willis shows us tonight, many of those celebrating are just learning about the civil rights pioneer.
Teens and young children streaming into the concert for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference tonight say Dr. King's dream and memory are alive and well.
It doesn't matter if your color is black or white, you can still be together. He don't care about people's colors, and everybody liked them and loved them.
Children too young to remember the riots and disbelief when King was assassinated in 1968 watched today as his widow Coretta placed a wreath at his tomb. Dr. King, they say, taught us something.
Color don't really matter.
West Bloomfield High School students honor Dr. King's dream by marching with their parents and teachers. Pelham Middle School students in Detroit paraded down the street renamed for the Dreamer. But some of King's admirers say increased opposition to affirmative action has affected their outlook.
I don't think we'll ever reach the point that Martin Luther King wanted us to reach.
One step forward is two steps backwards sometimes, but you know, you have to keep the faith.
The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, headlined tonight's concert. Her father, the late Reverend C.L. Franklin, was very close to Dr. King. She still shares their commitment.
Keep the faith and keep moving.
Detroit, Woody Willis, UPN 50, 10 o'clock news.